Most people do not wake up one day and decide to live a life without purpose. Purpose isn't usually lost in a single dramatic explosion. It vanishes slowly, through a process of quiet erosion, waking up to an alarm, going through the motions, reacting to demands, and falling asleep only to repeat it all again tomorrow. We live in an era where we are more connected, entertained, and comfortable than any generation in human history. Yet millions of people walk around with a persistent, nagging emptiness, a quiet realization that they are busy but not fulfilled, active but utterly directionless. Society tells us that purpose is something you find as if it were a misplaced key sitting on a shelf waiting to be picked up. But searching for purpose as if it's a hidden object is the exact reason so many people feel hopelessly lost. Purpose is not discovered, it is constructed. It is not a destination you stumble upon, but a framework you build through deliberate choices, cognitive alignment, and intentional action. Today, we are going to dismantle the myth of purpose and rebuild it using neuroscience, psychology, and ancient philosophy. Before you can build a meaningful life, you must first understand why the modern world actively strips your sense of direction away from you and how your brain's survival chemistry is keeping you trapped in comfortable drift. When you lack a clear sense of purpose, your brain defaults to survival mode. In neuroscience, this is tied directly to the default mode network, the region of the brain responsible for mind wandering, self-referential thought, and rumination. Without a central organizing goal to channel your focus, the default mode network turns inward. It hyperanalyzes your past mistakes, amplifies your insecurities, and creates a constant baseline of existential anxiety. Purpose isn't just a philosophical luxury, it is a neurological necessity for mental calm. Dopamine is often mislabeled as the pleasure molecule, but it is actually the molecule of pursuit. Your brain releases dopamine not when you achieve a goal, but when you are actively moving toward a goal that you perceive as valuable. When you live without direction, your dopamine system degrades. You lose the chemical drive to push forward, leading to chronic apathy. Purpose is the engine that keeps your neurochemistry aligned toward growth rather than stagnation. Meaning is generated at the intersection of friction and intent. When you apply your effort toward a challenge that matters to you, your brain rewards you with focus, resilience, and deep psychological flow. To build this alignment, we turn to the ancient Japanese philosophy of Ikigai, roughly translated as your reason for being. But to make this actionable today, we must strip away the motivational cliches and look at its core structural mechanics. Ikigai sits at the exact intersection of four fundamental pillars: what you are naturally skilled at, what you genuinely care about, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. Most people make the mistake of picking only one. If you chase only what pays well, you end up rich but hollow. If you chase only what you are passionate about without skill or utility, you end up frustrated and broke. Purpose is not a single passion, it is the balance of all four pillars acting together. Notice that passion is not the starting point. Passion is the byproduct of mastery and contribution. You do not find your purpose by sitting in a room thinking about it, you forge it through action and refinement. When you align your daily work with these four pillars, your effort stops feeling like a chore and begins feeling like a calling. You stop waiting for motivation because your direction is crystal clear. One of the greatest lies modern culture tells us is follow your passion. It assumes that passion is a static, pre-packaged emotion waiting inside you. In reality, chasing passion blindly often leads to anxiety and perpetual disappointment. Passion without discipline is volatile. It fades the moment difficulty appears. Purpose, however, is grounded in responsibility. Passion asks, what can the world give me? Purpose asks, what can I build, solve, or carry for others? Human beings are hardwired to thrive under meaningful weight. When you take on responsibility, whether for a craft, a family, a business, or a mission, you anchor yourself. Responsibility provides the gravity that keeps you from floating away into aimlessness. When you shift your focus from chasing short-term happiness to carrying long-term responsibility, your entire relationship with struggle transforms. Challenges stop being roadblocks and become the literal material you use to build your character. Happiness is a fleeting emotional state. Purpose is an unshakable stance. When happiness retreats during difficult seasons, purpose is the anchor that holds you in place. To move from theory to reality, you must institute three daily operational frameworks. First, audit your energy, not just your time. Pay attention to the activities that leave you feeling focused and expanded versus those that leave you drained and numb. Second, define your anti-goals. Purpose is often found by clarifying what you refuse to tolerate. Write down the lifestyle, habits, and outcomes you absolutely reject. Knowing what you are running away from is often as powerful as knowing what you are running toward. Third, commit to a 2-year horizon. Stop trying to plan your entire life 50 years in advance. Purpose evolves as you evolve. Pick a meaningful direction, give it 2 years of relentless focus, and let the next door reveal itself. Motion creates clarity. You cannot steer a stationary vehicle. The simple act of picking a direction and executing with discipline will reveal more about your purpose in 3 months than 3 years of passive thinking ever could. Clarity is a reward for action, not a prerequisite for it. As you test your skills against real world friction, your true interests, values, and strengths will naturally separate from your distractions. At the end of life, no one measures their worth by the hours they spent consuming content, the superficial comfort they preserved, or the arguments they won online. We measure our lives by the depth of our impact and the meaning of our pursuits. Finding purpose does not mean your life will become easy or free from pain. It means your pain will finally make sense. It means your effort will mean something. It means you will wake up knowing that your presence on this earth matters. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for permission. Look at the raw material of your life today, your skills, your struggles, your curiosity, and your values, and decide to build something meaningful out of them. Your purpose isn't waiting to be found out there in the world. It is waiting to be built right here, right now, by you. Step forward, take ownership, and build a life that commands your own respect. Thank you for watching. If this video gave you perspective today, subscribe to the channel, share this with someone who needs direction, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Define your mission, stay disciplined, and I will see you in the next video.